welcome to today's video. We're making kimchi. It's a plant-based version and a twist I've put to it for my home. If you've never tried kimchi or you don't know how to go about making it, stay tuned now. This kimchi has so much research backing its benefits for the gut health, and it's so simple and easy to make, but a lot of times people will put off it. Today's one though, we have a bit of an African Nigerian twist, and yes, it's nothing other than alligator peppers. They come in these pods, and this is what they look like when you break them open. They're tiny little pods of peppers. They've got so many nutritional health benefits. It's actually a spice, a condiment, and also a herb. So I'm gonna use this to make kimchi. Stay tuned for the full video. And look, make sure your cabbage is nice and crispy and clean, and then you chop it. And just inspect the insides, make sure you're happy. I'm happy with that cabbage, it looks beautiful, don't you think? So we cut off the end bits. Traditionally, kimchi is cut into just a few chunks, but I have to cut it into smaller bits because my children like it a bit smaller and it's easier for them to handle. So that's the reason I'm chopping it a little bit smaller than it's done traditionally. Chopped up all our cabbage. It looks nice and evenly chopped. And now it's time to brine it. We need a lot of salt for this, so don't be shy. 4 tablespoons of salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt, ideally sea salt. Now our salt is in here. Just mix the whole salt in, just so it reaches every surface, and add some water. Just add a little water and we'll let this brine for 2 hours. From time to time, you go and just turn it and just sort of like, not really massaging it, but just mixing it up, okay? And we're gonna see the whole cabbage look a bit soft and a bit less crunchy than it looked to start with, a little bit paler as well. We're gonna prepare our vegetables. So my carrots are clean, I'm just gonna grate it. If you can slice, that's fine, but I'm just gonna grate it up and using a mandolin slicer. Daikon radish and spring onions, just chop them nicely, nice and small. Feeling it less crunchy, like I said. Just keep mixing it up so that the whole salt goes into the cell walls of the cabbage. Now to make our kimchi paste. I'm using some normal brown rice flour, but the main recommendation is glutinous rice flour, which is a lot more starchy. So I'm using 2 heaped tablespoons and a cup of water. This is what the rice in a little bit of water looks like. Just keep mixing it until it becomes creamy. Pasty. I just added a little bit more water because it was quite thick. That was a whole cup of water in total to 2 cups of rice flour. Now it's cooked. It's got a bit of a translucent consistency. I'm using my blender. I'm gonna blend the garlic, the onions, the ginger, and the dates. And I'm just letting this to cool. Then I'll add it as my blending base. Guys, I didn't mention this on my ingredients, but you need some seaweed. I'm using some kelp flakes. I'm gonna use a whole tablespoon of that, and I'm just gonna add it to my kimchi base for blending. Now, can you see what this looks like now? It looks nice and soft and limp, and it's rested for that long. So we've brined this, and it's time to wash. Making sure you give this a good rinse because we want the excess salt out of it. Just make sure you drain all the water out. Rinse it a couple of times if you're not happy. It tastes so delicious. The children have actually eaten some of it already. It's really nice. and the cabbage is shrunk in size as well. Just get as much of the water out in a strainer. Time to mix. I've got my paste. We've got onions, garlic, ginger, dates, and what else do we have in here? We've got that's it. And so we're just gonna pour that in here. I'm using some gloves because this is a bit spicy and pungent, and I don't want to burn my hands. Now we're gonna add red pepper flakes. I'm using half a cup. I've also got mushroom powder. I'm putting that in, and my alligator peppers, that's what these are. Remember, grinded. I'm just using half a tablespoon of those. And then the spring onions and the chives. Just basically everything you've prepped. Your daikon or your radish and my carrots. And now we mix. 2 tablespoons of salt. So that's one. Ryan's my assistant. That's it. Just pour that. That's one. And another one. Fill it up nicely. That's it. That's 2 tablespoons. That's enough. Okay. I've tasted it and I need to add a bit of sugar. So we're gonna add a tablespoon or a teaspoon of coconut sugar. I was trying to just use unprocessed sugar, but that's fine. Just a little extra sugar. Perfect. Thank you, Aaron, for assisting me. And that's just to give us good food. It's a prebiotic to start the fermentation process, make it a lot faster. Our kimchi is ready. Now you can use these lovely fermentation storage containers. I got them off Amazon. It's crazy Korean. Or you can use a glass jar. I love this because it's got airlock. It's not an advert, it's just something I love using. So it helps keep it anaerobic, so prevents air from going in and helps the bacteria, the good bacteria, multiply. So we're just gonna fill this jar to whatever level you want. That's the beauty about it though, because you don't have to fill it to the top. Our kimchi is ready now. It looks so beautiful and the boys say it tastes amazing. So for children to like it, it does taste good. Now you need this to ferment for 2 weeks. We're just gonna lock this in. You see the special thing about this jar? It has this air lock. So you just make sure you get all the air out and you seal it. And I can put this in my fridge for 2 weeks, or I can leave it on the counter for about a week and it will be ready to eat. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please share this. I want our African community to start making things like kimchi. It's so good for us, especially those in the diaspora. We don't have access to some naturally fermented foods we have in in Africa. So you can make kimchi in the comfort of your home. I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care. Bye. What do you think about the kimchi, Aaron?
I think the kimchi is really nice, but it's a bit spicy. And I think like when it's fermented a lot, it'll be sour, and I kind of like it when it's sour. So yeah.
Okay. How about you, Ryan?
It's mixed good with the black rice and egg. It's good like this. It tastes a bit fermented. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and comment down below.